But talking to you about whether you think Richard Branson is right, and just on a personal note, in 1996, when I was pregnant with my third child, one of my first cousins died of having taken drugs that he didn't mean to take a drugs overdose, but he died having bought some drugs from a street dealer. So I have personal experience of this. I do think there is a crisis. I do think the system doesn't work. I do think too many young people are dying needlessly because of the fact that all drugs are criminalised in this country, which has led to, illegal gangs, cartels getting rich and kids dying. Gail in Maidstone in Kent, what do you feel about this?
Yes, I think Richard Branson is wrong. I have personal experience too, Rachel.
Yeah, let me tell it, if you don't mind.
Yes, I don't mind at all. My daughter first started taking drugs when she was at top grammar school.
Yeah.
And I think she had her first line of coke at about 14, I think. She was a very highly educated, very intelligent girl. I sent her to people who I thought could help her, Cornerstone.
Yeah.
And she came back and said, well, they don't know what they're talking about. Everyone takes drugs.
That isn't true. I mean, she's wrong.
No, of course it isn't true. She started with weed. And it's not that weed actually leads on automatically to something else. It's just if you're mixing in those circles, you are offered other things. At the age of 25, she became pregnant. By this time, she was on heroin and crack cocaine. She was living in Hackney in a crack house. She had no antenatal care. I tried to get her sectioned under the Mental Health Act. They wouldn't do it. But I did have some very good social workers in Hackney. They were tremendous. My granddaughter was born, and she was born addicted. And she was on morphine sulfate for 5 weeks, after which she came home to us.
To you or to your daughter?
To us, because my daughter was in a crack house. So obviously I intervened. And I think at first the social workers didn't really believe me. I think they thought I was just another hysterical grandmother. But they went round there and realised that police went there not in ones but in twos. And I had to promise my daughter that I wouldn't let her baby be taken away from her. But, of course, I knew then what was best for my granddaughter. She hated me for a while. My granddaughter now is about to go to university, a very top university, to do mathematics.
Wow.
She doesn't want anything to do with drugs. She has learnt because of her mother.
Yeah.
We got in touch with her mother again in 2020, and she's on, I suppose, something that will bring her down now. I think it's...
so she's still using?
No.
She's not?
No. But it's very, very difficult. And she said, what did I think? Now, she was 14. So she was very gullible, very impressionable. But the problem is, when they're that age, they want to be part of the crowd. And this is the problem. She was taking crack and heroin all the way through her pregnancy. She didn't finish her grammar school. She ran away. So drugs can be devastating.
They can. And Gail, I mean, I don't know whether you heard the conversation I had with the professor of addiction. But do you think that your daughter had an addictive personality, which meant she was susceptible both to coke and then to smack or crack, and that she must have had peers and friends, school friends, because she started so early, who didn't go down that road that she did.
Yeah, I know one other person that went down that road.
Right.
And the others, they took weed, and then I suppose there came a time when they didn't. And they're probably living okay lives.
But your
now.
daughter never got through this.
No.
Yeah.
No, she didn't. Until recently.
And
I don't think that Richard Branson is right. I think you should keep it criminalised, because I remember...
But would that have stopped... Would your daughter be in a different place now if drugs had been legal than whether they're illegal, do you see, Gail?
Well,
would it have made a difference to her?
Well, I can't say that, can I?
But for me, it was, in the first place, the whole sort of naughtiness of everything, you know, and the fact that it was illegal and being told... That was the
allure, was it?
Partly, to begin with. You know, I was always one of them. If you say, my mum said, you know, don't, you know, it'd be really nice if you don't get your hair cut like that because, you know, it's not...
You're a rebel. Okay, Wayne, you're a rebel. So
yeah,
part of the kick was it was illegal.
Yeah, so until 18, nothing at all, yeah? A couple of friends took me to a rave and it was the whole illegal thing.
Shebang.
But, yeah, but in them days, if you wanted something, so I see a lot of where that other caller's coming from, the wanting to be in with the crowd.
Well, her daughter was 14. That is
horrific.
Quite early.
And that's
much too young.
Because of the availability of it that was happening. It wasn't like that.
Can I read you a text that I feel sums up my position? Hi, Rachel. I think all drugs should be regulated, if anything for quality control, because I mentioned that my cousin took something that was either too pure or too impure, and he died a few hours later. And to take all this free money out of the hands of organised crime, war on drugs has been a waste of time and money. That's Tony in Southend. Well, what about that, Wayne?
I thoroughly agree with that.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that, and I'll tell you for why. Okay, so if you go back X amount of years, it was, if I go back 20 years, it was nearly 90% clean, okay? But you ordered, say, because of that, you ordered on a Monday, and it came on Thursday. If you changed your mind and wanted to do more, it's too late. You couldn't get it. But now, because it's 30% and it's cut, fentanyl, rat poison, I've just literally been taken away in an ambulance about 4 weeks ago.
You were?
I've got a really good job. Yeah, I've been promoted 3 times while taking 3 grams a day. Yeah. I actually stood in front of a CEO of a £90 million company, and he said, mate, you don't stop, do you? You're really on it. And I thought, at the time, if only I could say I really am on it, yeah?
Jerry?
Well, I don't know, really, Rachel, to be quite honest. I've been, around my married life for over 20 years, which, takes coke all the time.
You lived with a man who did coke?
Yes, all the time.
Are you still with him?
Yes. Yeah.
What's it like?
Lonely.
Yeah, because you don't use.
No, I tried, to kind of like fit in, but no, it's not for me. And it's part of my life, so I don't think regulating it is okay. It just makes it even more easy to do. It's kind of like, so it's even more part of an everyday part of your life.
Well, it would take away the kind of illicit criminal thrill or kick that some people may get from it doing something that's illegal. If you tell someone not to do something, then, they can get more of a high out of it.
But I wouldn't agree with that, because kind of, it destroys lives.
It does.
And families. Yeah.
But if you regulated, if you controlled the quality of the supply And if there were laws about who could take drugs at what age, what drugs at what age, don't you think there would be fewer drug deaths?
Yes, I do. And that's what, I'd like that. But I do worry that kind of like people would abuse that system. Yeah. And we'd just be kind of giving it out for the wrong reasons.
But if it was legal, like vaping, which is legal, do you think that it would still be something that people would want to do, after dinner, a cheeky line?
It's not just a cheeky line, it's a whole day. It's a whole evening. It's a whole kind of being, not the person that you are, and you would just want to be left alone,
Jerry, listen, I mean, others will be listening to you and thinking what I'm thinking. Why are you with him? Jerry? I know.
I have my children. I have a home.
He's the father of your children?
Yes.
Right. Well, I think you're in a difficult situation, and I think that it's made you very unhappy. And I don't think he's doing the right thing, is all I could say. I'm not a judgmental person, but I can hear how unhappy you are. And I think he should stop, and I wish he was listening to this because I'd give him a piece of my mind. Jerry, thank you very much, and I really hope that this hasn't been too upsetting, but thank you very much for calling.